following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WZWA Network's review show here of AEW Rampage. I'm one of your hosts, Karlifornia once again, and of course, my esteemed co-host, Juicy Boy Daniel Johnston. What's up, bro?
Yeah, not a lot, bro. Here we are, another episode of Rampage under our belts, and a little bit to discuss. So let's get into it.
Yeah, bro. Obviously, I wasn't able to attend last week's review show, but obviously the first 2 weeks of Rampage been pretty exciting episodes. Obviously, the first one with Christian becoming the Impact World Champion, and the second one being the first dance with CM Punk's debut in the company. Two very big shows there to have to follow up on, and we are now on the third week of Rampage. And this is kind of like business as usual for what Rampage will probably be like going forward, because the first 2 weeks were obviously special kind of episodes with special things happening. So DJ, right out the gate, intro to the show, and Jungle Boy Luchasaurus come into the ring, the Jurassic Express, and the Lucha Brothers get no entrance. They're already in the ring. Bro, just take it away.
Yeah, look, this match was rife with every major problem we have with the in-ring product in this company. There was a prolonged spot midway through the match where Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt were holding one of the Lucha Brothers in place, while Jungle Boy assembled himself on the top rope. Like, see, it's almost foggy in my mind because the match it was just such an off-feeling match. So Jungle Boy's getting up on the top rope. Eventually, the other Lucha Brother intercepts him on the top rope and manages to hurricanrana Jungle Boy off the top rope down below to Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt, and the other Lucha Brother, all three of whom have just been standing there looking at this exchange on the top rope, which took a total of about 50 seconds, a good 50 seconds for them to get situated before executing the move. At that point, I'm sorry, but these guys wouldn't still be just standing there waiting to be landed on like that. There was also a number of unnecessary kickouts, several moments where this match could have and arguably should have been ended. They kept on kicking out. It really felt like this was, and the worst thing about it was the crowd seemed to be eating it up, like they really enjoyed it. There was so many things in this match that destroyed the suspension of disbelief. There was so much obvious cooperation in this match. There was so many moments where things took a little bit of time to get into, and it looked like they were moving underwater, and it just made the cooperation all that much more obvious. This match was absolutely, tonally, completely wrong for the finals, semifinals of a tag team title tournament, where the winners are going to go on to face the Young Bucks in a cage match. There was some cool stuff, like Jungle Boy did like a running Canadian destroyer on the apron. He copped
the destroyer on the apron.
Yeah, sorry, he received the destroyer. There was some great kicks and a number of athletic flips and stuff that we saw, which in a vacuum, a number of those things looked pretty cool. But that's about the best thing I've got to say about this match, other than the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks was in the crowd. They kept on cutting back to him. I think it's good. He's a good-looking athlete, and he's pretty popular in Milwaukee. I like the fact that they showed him having a good time and enjoying the show. Like, look at this athlete, this celebrity that's enjoying our show. That's a nice touch from the production team. Got to shout that out. The match itself was really just an incoherent mess, I think, from the very beginning. Like, I was taken out by the fact that both teams didn't even get an entrance. Like, the Lucha Brothers were already in the ring. And I get that that's probably for time and stuff, but like this is a big match. You want to set the stage properly. Young Bucks attacked Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, and the Lucha Brothers attacked him after the match. Beat down ensues. An 8-man tag between the Elite and the Lucha Brothers and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus has been made for next week on Dynamite. I feel all over the place with my review here, but in summing up, this was just a mess. This was an F. This match was an F, and completely a miss for me.
Man, it just I don't want to be a prickly pear. I want to be a negative Nancy. I don't want to be doing reviews, and just going to be sitting here saying, complaining about things. But this was the beginning of the show, and I was in a bad mood for the rest of it. And I feel like so dramatic talking like this about it. It's just a fucking wrestling show, but this is the type of thing that kept me away from even giving AEW a chance in the first place. Like 2 years, I completely ignored anything and everything that they did, was not interested, didn't care how many friends said to me, you should watch this, it's really good, because I knew it was just rife with all this kind of shit. Yeah, you're right with the entrances. This is a finals of a very short tournament, but we need the stage set nicely where it's this big build up. And for the Lucha Brothers to already be in the ring, I just was like, makes them look like a jobber team, despite the fact that they won the fucking match. The commentators, man, no more 4-man team. I'm sorry, get Jericho out of there. Love him, but fuck, man, he was dreadful tonight.
Wow, he was awful, wasn't he?
Brandon Cutler's a sack of dung. Like, they were stepping all over each other. They're all trying to get their shit in. Like, man, it's just like this fucking match. The commentators were all over each other. And especially, just keep it to Excalibur, Taz, and Mark Henry. Because Mark barely even said anything tonight because he could barely get a fucking word in.
Yeah. And that was especially prevalent in the opening match itself as well, Carl, which did not do any favors with the way the rest of the match was going. I mean, they seemed to take a while, the commentators I'm talking about, to find any kind of a flow, and they never really did, to be honest, over this entire broadcast, but we'll get to it, I'm sure. And the referee, man, like there's one stage where both Lucha Brothers were in the ring for I don't know how fucking long. And to see the way that the referee told the non-legal guy, the way that he told, he was behind him, the guy couldn't even see him, and he just went like, and he's just going
like, fucking take a page out of Aubrey Edwards' fucking book and fucking get in the guy's face and tell him to get out of the fucking ring. He's standing behind him and he just like shoot him, and the guy didn't even see him do it. It's like, come on, man, get Mike Chioda in there to fucking train these guys. Somebody please fucking work on the referees, because it's always hit and miss with these guys. Sometimes they're really fucking strict and they seem to care so much about the rules. And then you have a match like this where it's just a fucking free for all.
You can't pick and choose. You got to have consistency.
The Hurricane Run of the outside. Again, you already said it, but fuck, man. Why would anyone fucking stand there for that long? Hang on. Why in the first place would Luchasaurus hold him so that Jungle Boy can jump onto him? Why? You've got a hold of him. Throw him into the stairs or something, bro. Fucking throw him into the ring apron. Suplex him on the floor. Why would anyone do this? Hey, man, put yourself in danger and jump off into this guy. I'll hold it.
Yeah. It's not
You've
logical.
never seen that spot once, and you'll never see it happen. Because the whole point was, well, we need to find a way to be in position so that you can do this fucking stupid spot with the Hurricane Rana, which, don't get me wrong, was an amazing maneuver to see completed. But imagine that happened whilst Luchasaurus, the other guy, were brawling around the side of the ring and, you know, making it look like they weren't even aware anything was going on the top rope there. Maybe the other Lucha brother has Jungle Boy up and they're going to go for a superplex. Jungle Boy fights out of it. And then the brawl between Luchasaurus and the other guy, it gets to a point where they happen to be right there. And then that's when the fucking Lucha brother gets.
And by that time,
Hurricane Rana, they turn, boom, happenstance, not just fucking standing there for fucking nearly a whole fucking minute to take that bump. And then by the time fuck out of that, and then the fucking fans, sorry to keep cutting you off, DJ, no, it's all right. But the fans, they chant, holy shit, they go, this is awesome. Yes, this is what we want to see. You're enabling these guys to be able to do these fucking spots, which alienate casual wrestling fans that might want to watch AEW and might want to take a wrestling product seriously for the first time in years. And then you see shit like this, and I guarantee you, hundreds, thousands of casual fans will look at this and be like, this is bullshit. I'm not watching this shit. Anyway, what was it that you wanted to say?
No, all I was going to say is like, yeah, if you actually spend some time trying to, like, because you often see these half-hearted punches and stuff happening while guys wait for dives and stuff to happen. Here's the thing. If you put more intensity into those punches, then the audience can actually be distracted by you guys brawling. And by the time they brawl into position to be landed on, Jungle Boy and the Lucha Brother in this case would have had the opportunity to get set for the move. So there wouldn't have been this awkward, 50 seconds of standing around waiting there, making everyone look foolish. And it's the difference between something looking great and something looking shit and fake. And at the end of the day, it may seem like we're harping on it, but we're not. Something like that can immediately make you go and pull you right out of the immersion that you were trying to experience, in which, like when I sit down with friends to watch a boxing match or a mixed martial arts match, it feels like a fight. You're trying to simulate that same kind of feeling when you watch professional wrestling. Anyway, I'll move on from it, but yeah, total immersion killer.
Yeah, it's just like, I didn't get into the match for 1 second. Not one moment was I like emotionally invested in what was going on. These two teams fighting their hearts out to get just a shot at the tag team titles. I want to feel it, dude. I don't want to just sit there and watch these guys go through each of their specky little gymnastic spots. Yeah. And fucking Cirque du Soleil. Look, I always give the lucha wrestlers a pass because this is their style of wrestling. There's a lot of takedowns and evasions and different maneuvers utilizing
rolls and strength and
roll. All of that stuff. I completely get it. But when I watch the luchadors in WCW do this stuff, never once did I ever go, oh, that looked really fake. Dude. They always made it seem to look real then, but when it came to this match, it's like I'm taken completely out of it every single fucking second of the match. And I don't know how many fucking incredibly dangerous and powerful and insane fucking moves you need to utilize to pin somebody, but you didn't need this many to fucking beat somebody. Yeah. It was so fucking over the top with all of these things. The fucking Destroyer on the ring apron. Yes, I am glad that took Jungle Boy out of the match. But I think the Destroyer coming back into the ring on Luchasaurus, that should have been it. I think they hit two more fucking double team moves after that to fucking beat him. And I've written down here, what do you fucking need? A shotgun to pin somebody in AEW? Like, I can't believe I'm this angry over a predetermined wrestling contest, bro. I can't believe it. Why am I so angry?
Because you're supposed to come out of this match being excited to see the Lucha Brothers wrestle the Young Bucks in the cage for the tag team titles of this company, right? And nothing in this match inspires confidence that they would be any better as champions than the Young Bucks. What does this say about their tag division where everything looks so fake and phony and cooperative?
It's like, I don't even understand the decision why they're getting the title shots, because they've had no interactions with the Elite for months on end. And this story between the Jurassic Express and the Bucks has been the story. So I don't understand why it ended up being like this. I don't understand why it's a fucking cage match.
That
Cage
seems
matches are
arbitrary as
supposed to
well.
be for a specific reason. So it's like we're just doing a cage match for the fuck of it.
And what's the bet? What's the bet? The cage doesn't stop people from interfering in the match.
I'm sure something's going to happen. I'm sure. Yeah, there'll be interferences or whatever. I don't give a shit, bro. This is one of the only matches on the upcoming pay-per-view that I'm not actually invested in, and everyone and anyone who's watching this might be like, wow, these guys are really shitting on AEW. Watch our Dynamite review. It was our favorite show that we've seen on theirs in the last 5 weeks that we've been doing this. We gave them so much props, and then we get to this, and this is how the show opens. We haven't even got to the next few bits. But I felt like it was important for me to really fucking go on a rant with DJ here because we weren't happy with what took place, and I don't want to keep harping on it. But
look, I'll say this. Look, if you're a fan of AEW watching this and you enjoyed the match, that's great, I guess. But
I'm happy for you.
We're talking about this from the perspective of like the average casual / traditional fan. That's perhaps a lapsed fan that hasn't watched wrestling in a long time, that's going to come back and give AEW a try because they've heard good things. And then they turn the TV on and they see something like this and they'd just be like, this is bullshit. The wrestling that I remember, it used to look like they were kicking each other's ass. It's as simple as that. And you can argue with us and say that, oh, we're just being bitter and we're just nitpicking and trying to find fault, or, you know, if we don't like it, we don't have to watch it. That's fine. You know, I think that I can get into a good high-flying lucha libre match. I think that I do enjoy that style of wrestling. I think I know when I'm seeing a match in that style and the difference between a well-executed match in that style and a poorly executed match in that style. And what we saw here was a poorly executed match, probably a poorly agented match.
Yeah, I don't know if
did not come together at all.
I would have thought Malenko or Jerry Lynn might be, one of the guys that might work with the high flyers type thing. I don't know where they were at on this, but I just, you watch a Rey Mysterio Kidman versus Psychosis and Hoovy tag match from a Nitro back in the late 90s. I would not walk out of that pissed off. I would not walk out of that pissed off. Yeah. I guarantee you. But anyway, let's get away from it and try and find some fucking positives to talk about with this show. So because sometimes when I've watched AEW, especially Revolution, a pay-per-view I fucking hated, I said to myself, hey, at least JR and Tony are on commentary and I'm enjoying the commentary. I can't even enjoy the commentary on this fucking show because they're jumping all over each other. And Jericho keeps trying to be funny and he's just fallen just short of the mark. And Jericho's usually funny. But anyway, the voiceover guy for the video package that came up next, I think he's fantastic. And I like hearing that, it's the kind of like that movie.
The movie trailer.
Coming this summer.
In a world.
Winter. And coming this summer, a new winter smash hit.
It was the return we all wanted.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And I guess that was hyping up the Punk Darby Allin match as well. But yeah, really cool stuff. Miro is coming out now, supposed to be getting an interview with Tony. And all of a sudden, Fuego del Sol is tumbling out from the entranceway, which I thought was cool. And something different for once. Miro is clearly bullying him and throws him in the ring, and Tony's fucking cowering and then just throws the microphone his way and then runs off. That's great. And then it's okay. I said it the other day, bro, because it'd been like maybe a week of Miro Kingston hinting, with Miro kind of calling him out. Good. I'm glad that we got the first physical altercation between the two of them here. And like Kingston kind of looks like a contender to me. So I like this. It was a good pull apart. They haven't really done pull aparts that often. And the referee seemed to finally give a shit and wanted to split them up. And it's funny how they didn't come out to save Fuego, but they definitely needed to come out to stop them two from fighting each other. What did you think, bro?
Yeah, so first on the CM Punk Darby Allin package, both companies, AEW and WWE, they both knock it out of the park with their hype packages. I have to say, I really enjoy the hype packages from both companies. I think that the art of a good hype package was, people have really taken from the golden era of wrestling during the Monday Night Wars, and especially a lot of the work from guys like Dave Sahadi and Keith Mitchell in the past, and they've really kind of tried to evolve that art form to the point now where, in my view, a professional wrestling hype package is still one of the best tools that they have to draw fan interest into a match. Because I often find that the AEW hype packages, they have more of a UFC, like a more of an MMA type vibe to them. And the WWE packages, I feel like those are more of the kind of hype packages you'd see in a professional sports league like the NFL or the NBA or something like that. And I like them both. And I like them both for different reasons. So that's got to be pointed out. This hype package was sort of presented as the first part in an ongoing story. I got the impression that next week we're going to be seeing a continuation of this little package. But this really set the stage quite well for why is CM Punk interested in choosing Darby to be his first opponent? Why is Darby an intriguing opponent for CM Punk based on what we've seen from Darby already in AEW? And so that really came across and helped elevate my excitement even more for the match. And I'd probably give that a solid B+, the promo package. So there's something positive already that we've managed to find. I audibly laughed when first I want to comment that Miro's theme music is great. I love the gladiatorial sort of bullfighting type vibe that I get from it. Almost like, this ancient horns being blown to summon like this great beast, to do some horrible thing. I like that vibe. That really elevates Miro's matches to every time he comes out, it's like, all right, this guy is like a legitimate badass. He has that presence, and the music adds a lot to that. His music hits, then he comes out, throws Fuego del Sol down the ramp, and I audibly laughed. He bullies him around for a little bit. He at that point, he then actually removes Fuego del Sol's mask, which is considered the ultimate insult in lucha libre wrestling, because obviously a luchador's mask is their identity. So he's removed the mask. This got great heat. The audience understood the significance of it. So, years of being trained from like Rey Mysterio trying to avoid getting his mask pulled off and stuff, and years of seeing mask matches on TV have obviously trained people. They knew why this was a big deal. This got a great bit of heat for Miro before Eddie Kingston came out. The audience was excited to see Kingston and Miro actually get physical. Kingston comes out with a microphone. People are excited because he's great on the mic, but then he drops the mic and beeline straight to the ring, started a brawl. Touch. The crowd popped for that because they like seeing Eddie Kingston, whether it be on the mic or in the ring. And that's why he's such an underappreciated talent, in my opinion, because he actually looks like a real person as well. He's a throwback to the era where professional wrestling was full of characters, Yeah. He doesn't have like the physique of Miro. He doesn't have like the best physique. He's not the greatest athlete, but he's a character. He's real. He's believable. You know who he is. It comes across in his performances. And that was the case here with this brawl. This was a really nice brawl, a great teaser for the kind of high impact brawl that I think a lot of fans are expecting and hoping for at the pay-per-view. And the referees came out at just the right time to kind of separate these two guys. I thought that was a very smart booking decision to kind of weave the Fuego del Sol mini issue that he had with Miro into the budding feud that Miro has with Eddie Kingston. I'm hoping for more than just one match, to be honest, at this point. I'm hoping this goes for a couple of matches, a decent program between these two. I'm excited about this. I'm going to give this segment a B as well.
Yeah, cool, bro. Yeah, I really think it's, as we said on our Dynamite review, it will be good for this angle to just remove Kingston from the Moxley Derby stuff and just have him just be focused on for a little while here. It would be nice to see some vignettes to learn a little bit more about him. Not everybody has seen him previously, like myself. I like to learn a little bit more about him. I think that's one thing that they're kind of missing. Yes, we get a lot of promo videos where, you know, wrestlers are just talking to the camera or whatever, but I think it'll be nice, you know, every week to just like do like a superstar highlight kind of thing of who this person is. Let's learn a little bit about this person in 60 seconds and what their background is and why we should care about who they are. I think that will be really cool. You know, you could see Kingston like hanging out on the streets of wherever he's from, and you could almost like I get a New Jack vibe from him a little bit. You could really, if you built him up the right way, he could be like anytime he comes out, you know someone's ass is about to be kicked or.
See,
or
the
something
thing about
like
the good hook about Eddie Kingston is that he has that street background, that background of, you know, being a bit dangerous and stuff. But in the last few years, he's also become a family man as well. So now there's that other added dimension of him having a family to provide for and fight for. And I really think that the AEW could build a megastar in Eddie Kingston if they spent some time, like you say, to tell the audience more about him, who didn't really know who he was, because Eddie Kingston's one of a number of talents in AEW that never really had a lot of TV exposure prior to AEW. So there's a lot of fans out there that don't really have the background info that could help them connect even more with Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. Moving on, we get the token women's match on the show. And this was a good one. It's Tay Conti against the Bunny. Again, I'm not sure about cutting out the entrances here. The Bunny is a very attractive lady. You want to see her entrance because, you know, that's a big part of the presentation is you know, being center stage and all that. So I don't like I don't like the theme I'm seeing here with Lucha Brothers and now the Bunny having her entrance cut out. Just I think the entrances are important unless the team or the singles competitor it's a foregone conclusion they're going to get their ass handed to
like
them.
If it's an enhancement talent, you know,
then
fine.
fair enough. But if it's somebody that you're trying to build up on your show, then that everyone should get their entrances. Find the time. Okay, and another thing I wanted to say, in the last 5 weeks, I think the best women's match I've seen was the Bunny against Hirsch. You know, with the show where Camille came out after the match. So again, I think I'm pretty impressed with the Bunny because I think this match was better than that one. So I think this is the best women's match in 5 weeks that I've seen. These two seem to be a bit more polished than some of the other girls. So I think they should be elevated into those spots rather than Red Velvet right now, who I think needs to just be put back down to get a bit more seasoning, I suppose, if you want to call it that, and get a bit more experience so we don't see what we saw, you know, on Dynamite again. So yeah, I think Tay Conti is somebody that they should definitely be, and I'm not just saying that because I've got a crush on her. I think she honestly is somebody that should be a big contender for Britt Baker, because that's a fight I'd definitely like to see on pay-per-view. I'd be more invested in that than Chris Statlander. The line from Mark Henry, I don't know if I'm going to get it word for word, but it's like he said something like, "There's no, you know, you might know karate, but karate's not going to do anything if the other person knows crazy." I thought like that was a nice little touch, and I thought the finish was a little bit messy, a little bit disjointed. I know they were just trying to figure out a way to get the Penelope Ford to side with the Bunny. I guess they're going to start doing this heading towards the pay-per-view, getting a lot more of the girls kind of having more of a personal issue with one another so that the Casino Royale has more heat behind it. So I guess just trying to think of a way to get Ford in there with Bunny and the Blade. So wasn't offended by the finish. I was happy with it. And again, yes, best women's match in 5 weeks. DJ, take it away.
Yeah, so look, I actually was really, really impressed with this match. I enjoyed this quite a bit. I liked the fact that we were seeing a lot of Bunny's personality come out in this. She definitely was playing up like that she's a bit crazy, a bit wacko. She was really just brawling and punching and kicking quite a bit, while Tay Conti was trying to make use of that jiu-jitsu and judo background that she has. And so I liked the fact that, hey, they're actually telling a story here. We've got two distinct characters, and both for different reasons, they each have an opportunity to win this match. They had a little issue. This stems obviously from the previous episode of TV where Tay Conti refused Bunny's offer to join them, and so that led to this match. So it had a precipitating issue as well that can add quite a lot to a match like this. So, there was a lot of things I enjoyed in this match. It really kicked into high gear when Tay Conti sort of took control towards the end and started using a lot of her martial arts techniques and her throws and takedowns. I thought the finish could have been a little bit more snappy, but overall, this match, I really enjoyed this match quite a bit, and I'd probably give this a C-. So, cool. Yeah, I was a fan of this.
No worries, bro. Up next was again another package for Brian Cage and his feud with Team Taz.
I almost forgot about this whole.
It's been 5 fucking weeks, bro. We had the thing with the marching band. We had the thing where him and Hobbs were fighting backstage, and then it was never alluded to again in the show. No updates or anything like that. I thought the angle beforehand was doing okay, especially as it led towards their FTW title match and all that stuff. But the follow-up to it has been such a afterthought. The last 5 weeks, you can't think of anything where Hobbs could wrestle a match or Cage could wrestle a match to build up to the fact that they're going to go head-to-head at Dynamite next week. Like, I think you need to, when you have a match like this, and it's not a pay-per-view match, but it's a highlighted match in this story. Both of them need to pick up a win along the way there to get that momentum. So now, okay, like we've seen Cage, we've seen Hobbs destroy 2 people. Now we're going to see them go head to head. I just think the angle's piss weak at this stage. And again, somebody just take Taz aside and go, what do you think we should do, bro? What do you reckon we can do that's going to make this stand out and be different from all the other angles on the show? Other than the fact that this angle's about Cage not wanting help when he's fighting people, rubs Taz the wrong way, Cage leaves the group, Cage loses his belt. That's the angle. I want more. Give me more. Talk to Taz. He could think of something. What do you think, man?
Yeah, look, it should be an impressive match and a bit of a spectacle, but it's much like the issue we talked about with the Andrade El Idolo and Pac match, which is that as good as it's going to be in the ring, it's just got no heat to it. They aren't putting enough behind it. They obviously think that what they're doing is accumulatively sort of adding up into a coherent issue between these two, but they're just not spending enough time actually putting heat on it. I need to see these guys in the arena. I need to see some follow-up. I think it's been at least 3 weeks since we've actually seen anything tangible happen to escalate this issue between these two. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess there was nothing offensive about the package, but it wasn't really enough either. Not much to say.
Yeah. And they mentioned some matches that are coming up in the next few weeks after they talk about Hobbs and Cage going at it. They talk about how next week on Rampage, we're going to see Darby Allin against Garcia. Again, as I alluded to before with Eddie Kingston, I want a vignette on Garcia. I don't know what his background is, like at least with his training, if he's got some sort of martial arts skills and all that stuff, or submission skills. I'd like to see some sort of vignette of him, like maybe training in a cage or something. I don't know, training like doing a bit of like mixed martial arts, or and cutting to him talking about who he is, where he's from, what he's all about, and what he's going to do to Darby Allin.
Let's see him
I
on the
think
mat and stuff like that.
Yeah, vignettes, bro. Vignettes. Let's build him up. You know, it's been, 4 weeks now that we've seen 2.0 and Garcia. 2.0 have had a little bit of time to talk on the microphone and all that. We're getting to know them slowly. I want to learn more about this guy, so I care more about him.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll get to the main event now, bro, and I'll let you take this one away. It is Christian Cage and Kaz taking on Kenny Omega and Brandon Cutler in a tag team contest.
All right. So the fact that the characters on screen acknowledge Brandon Cutler as being a useless piece of shit in the ring does not excuse the addition of Brandon Cutler into this match. And all it does is mean that the baby faces are going to beat a team that is half made up of a nobody if they win the match. And if Kenny Omega's team wins the match instead, then Christian and Kazarian have been beaten by a nobody. Yes, he's a nobody that's tagging with the champion, but still a nobody. They've acknowledged it on TV. His own team was calling him a useless piece of garbage in the ring. All that does is absolutely undermine any possible interest that we can have in this match, because
we know they're not going to win.
We know they're not going to win. There's no real sense of danger to Kaz and Christian. This was really just, it's nothing even against Brandon Cutler. There was a couple little things that he did that actually made me laugh. Like, I liked when finally Kaz had been down on the mat long enough. He finally was ready to tag in, started doing some ridiculous dance moves and a couple of elbow drops. He did like a dab, which is, of course, outdated by over a year at this point. A dab into an elbow drop, which was just dumb, and it got a laugh out of me. And his actual selling and the bumps that he took, I had no problem with him. So it's not really his fault, but it's the way that they're presenting him on TV. And then to take someone that they've been presenting that way on TV and slot him into this match, which is an important stepping stone on the way to this Christian Omega title match at All Out. Again, it's the wrong piece to the puzzle. It didn't fit. And I think that this actually undermined the Christian versus Kenny Omega match more than it actually built anticipation for it, because now you're taking a detour here on this episode of Rampage and spending 10 minutes basically turning the AEW Championship feud into a joke, taking the piss out of this Brandon Cutler kid. What's this going to do to build up the title match anymore? It's not. You know, there was nothing that was offensive in terms of the actual technical quality of the match or anything like that, but booking wise, it just made me shake my head. And I'd give this a D as well.
Yeah, I want to say this before I talk about the match. Any fans out there that are complaining about Christian Cage being in the main story, being in the main event matches, I think you can all suck my fucking dick, to be perfectly honest with you. Because I've seen, you know what Twitter's like, bro. I got to keep off that thing because it's just filled with toxic pig skid marks that go on. Oh, why is the old guy beating the old guy? The old guy is fucking wrestling 10 times better than most of the fucking roster.
That's right.
Every match he's had has been incredible, and he's shown that he can go 15, 20 minutes and not even fucking blow up. For him to have been out of the ring for so long and to come back and have that much wind and to never make a mistake, for it always to look like a real fight, a real contest. Cut the guy some slack. He's doing a fucking fantastic job as far as I'm concerned.
I like seeing him. He should be there. He should be in this position. He's
look,
one of the only people they've got on their roster that's good enough to be in a position like this. He's the kind of person that you put into this position right now in the short term so that he can help Kenny Omega become a better performer and a better champion and a better top guy for the company in the future. That's why Christian was brought in and put where he was put. Anyone that wants to fucking go on Twitter and say, oh, why is the old guy or the ex-WWE guy being put in this storyline? Because he's fucking a fantastic wrestler. That's fucking why. It's as simple as that. The evidence is in everything that he does. But unfortunately, even he, Carl, was not able to save this match.
Yeah, and you ask any person that ever worked with him, and they'll say he is one of the best that there's ever been. And there's no doubt about that in my mind. And yeah, look, the match foregone conclusion, you knew Kaz and Cage were going to win this. I just didn't like the story of the match. Because, and I want to make another point, bro. They're called the Elite. Why would the Elite have any fucking job guy, lackey?
He's the opposite of Elite.
Yeah, why would they have him in there? I know the NWO had Vincent to take bumps for him or whatever. But again, I don't know. I don't know the point of this whole thing. I guess maybe the other guys don't want to be copping pinfall losses and they need someone to be there to take those losses. Who knows? But as the match was moving along, it was just disjointed because the whole story was that Brandon Cutler's shit and Omega wasn't going to put his neck on the line to help him out so they could win the match. I don't even why even do the match?
Yeah,
why even show up for the match?
Why even have
if you're not going to actually actively try and find a way with your fucking other lackey at ringside and also Don at ringside, find a way to fucking win this match. You've got the Young Bucks in the back. You've probably got the Good Brothers in the back. A stable like this should be able to have a game plan to find a way, or at least try and find a way, even if it gets foiled by the smarter Christian Cage and Kazarian. Cool.
Yeah.
But stables have tactics sometimes. There was no tactics at play here, so it kind of made the heels look a bit weaker.
It's insulting to the audience's intelligence. It's the same thing that they were doing in the opening match. There is 45 minutes on this broadcast, and the two longest matches were the ones that were taken least seriously by the participants, it seems, with the way they were booked. And all this does is hurt the interest that you're building with Omega versus Christian at All Out. We've already seen in the Impact title match that it's going to be a great match because they're going to probably give it a bit more time than that. There won't be any breaks, commercial breaks, and so forth. But this is also, I'm talking about All Out now, is going to be a stacked card. This is going to be one of the 4 or 5 biggest cards of this year, along with SummerSlam, Mania, some of the ones we've already seen. This is going to be a huge show. They are already loading this card up with matches that even I personally am excited to see. It would be so easy for any one of these matches to get lost in the shuffle and lose all of its heat if they make the wrong moves in coming up to this pay-per-view, which is only a couple of weeks away. This is supposed to be one of the main events, if not the main event. I want to see it be treated like the main event world title match that it is.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up, Nakazawa hitting one of the, I don't know if it was Christian or Kaz, but hit one of them back with a laptop.
Yeah.
I don't know where the laptop came from, if he came out with it, if it's a laptop that he's required to have with the Elite to keep notes or whatever. But if that is, then why would he hit someone with it and break it? I don't know where the laptop came from. It was just a bit of a weird weapon to be utilizing.
That's another one of those things that they think is going to get a pop, but there's no context to it.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, you might as well hit him with a rubber ducky or something, bro.
We laughed when Brandon Cutler did the dancing because he'd finally tagged in and his much stronger opponent was on the ground and defenseless, and now he was going to take advantage to be a showboat. That was funny in that context. The laptop, as you said, just comes off as a little bit weird. Like, why use the laptop out of everything that's available to you out there? Why did you even have the laptop out there at the ring for a match and so forth? And, they didn't establish that he had the laptop either. It's not like you saw him on the way out opening it up and typing on it or anything like that. So
I don't know where it came from. All right, we'll get to the end of this now. Christian wins. The way the match was booked just was really anticlimactic. There was no drama to it. There was no suspense. There was no peaks and valleys. It was just whatever. It was just all over the place. So like this is probably I don't know. This is probably one of the worst shows I've seen of AEW, and I really feel like they need to start learning the art of the cliffhanger, because a lot of the shows you don't have to have a cliffhanger at the end of every episode. It doesn't need to be Raw is War in 1999, but sometimes it would be nice if there was some sort of cliffhanger or something like shit. We got to wait till Thursday to watch Dynamite now.
NWA does that really well. I was going to say, like, NWA Power is a show that is a similar length to Rampage, and they do a very good job of, like, Rampage right now, it feels like they're trying stuff a little too much into each episode. NWA, they actually stuff a little less into each episode than they need. And it's like, by the time each episode is wrapping up, you're like, oh, it's already wrapping up? Crap, got to wait until next week. And there's just something about the way they pace it that you end up wanting more. It feels like that 50 minutes isn't enough. It's the opposite problem here on this episode of Rampage. It did not feel like, oh, man, I want to tune in next week.
Yeah,
especially since I know CM Punk's not going to wrestle until the pay-per-view itself. You know, like there needs to be something exciting to draw fans back in for the next week.
I think Rampage needs another half hour. I don't think it needs to be 2 hours like Dynamite, but give it another half hour so the show can breathe a little bit more.
Make it like an hour and 10
crammed in there. Yeah, just even if it's just an extra 20 minutes or something like, I don't know. But anyway, bro, give me your rating out of 10 for Rampage.
Yeah, this is getting a 4 out of 10 for me. This really, I get excited to watch these shows for these reviews, and it's always a real letdown because I really go into them wanting to have a great time and really be blown away by the show. And this episode sucked, man. This was kind of a drag to get through.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 2 out of 10. 1 point for Tay Conti and the Bunny, 1 point for the Miro thing. Everything else felt like my time was wasted. Hate being so negative. Hate being like this, but I'm in a bad mood now. I'm in a bad mood. Yeah. I had to watch it, and then I had to talk about it for an hour. So
yeah.
Anyway, bro, let's hope that Dynamite this week continues to be a good show. I just have a bad feeling about Rampage going forward. That there needs to be something special on there every week, which I guess kind of makes special things not special anymore. But
yeah, look, I know we've been a bit ranty, a bit tangential on this review show here. Let me say this. This episode of Rampage was halfway towards feeling like a highlight package show, like a recap show. Okay? That is not the vibe you want for your new show that's only 3 weeks old. And yes, that could be the way that we're looking at it because we know that plenty of fans probably loved the show. But I don't see a ton of casual fans that tuned into that episode wanting to come back next week. But that's just me.
Yeah. All right, bro. Well, again, tell everyone where they can find you.
So all social media platforms, you can find me at Juicy Boy, JOOSEYBOY. That's Juicy Boy. On Twitch, that's Juicy Boy. At Twitter, that's Juicy Boy. On YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell so you know anytime I upload something on there. And of course, you can always follow my exploits with the WZWA Network itself as well.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter at Karlifornia WZWA. That's KARLIFORNIA WZWA. That's the only place you can find me. I hate social media. If you want to follow the WZWA Network, you're already on the YouTube, so good for you. But also find us on Twitter. Also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch, WZWA Network. Thanks, Juicy Boy. Appreciate it.
No worries, brother.
And thank you, everyone out there, for watching us rant and rave with our anger here over today's show. We really appreciate it, and we will see you next week. Thank you.